No! Oh.
This is me, and I'm about to have the biggest crash I've ever had in karting. And this is the story of how I ended up here. For the past 2 years, I've been trying to win one of the most competitive rental karting events in the world, the Kart Race of Champions. By invitation only, over the next 2 days, 200 drivers will battle it out to find out who is the champion of champions. 10 years ago, I started my rental karting journey in my hometown of Baltimore, and little did I know that it would quickly lead into becoming an F4 and F3 champion in just a few short years. So you may be thinking I'm overqualified for this race, but that's where you'd be mistaken. While rental karts may have bumpers and can be driven by anyone, at the highest level, it's just as competitive as any other form of motorsport. For example, back in 2023, the first time I was invited to the Kart Race of Champions, I waltzed into the track thinking these rental karters would be easy pickings. Not only did I not practice for the event, but I hadn't even been to the track before going straight into quali. Within just a few laps of the first heat, I knew I was in big trouble. I just couldn't stop myself from making huge mistakes and, quite frankly, enemies on track. It was nothing short of embarrassing, quite honestly. Fast forward to 2024, and I was not going to make the same mistakes twice. I showed up a day early, got some solid practice in, and wouldn't you know it, I was a hell of a lot faster. Sure, the racing was still a little bit rough and dirty on my side, but my pace was up there with the fastest drivers on the track. I even managed to score pole position for the A final, securing me a seat in the illustrious Buckmore 24-hour. And in the end, I finished my second Kart Race of Champions in 5th place overall. But is third time a charm? Well, I've never been more prepared than I am right now, but there's just one huge catch. The field of drivers has jumped from 100 to 200 drivers this year, making it twice as difficult to try and win this thing. So to best my chances, I've decided to hire a teammate. This is Brad. Not only is Brad a Nürburgring VLN champion, but he's won countless karting championships and even this very Kart Race of Champions back in 2022. Longtime viewers of the channel will know that this isn't the first time I've hired Brad for a race, and spoiler alert, it worked out pretty well for us. Brad and I will be using a radio system to communicate with each other both on track.
Yep, I'm behind you. You don't need to defend. Let's go. Copy.
And off track.
200th ahead of P2.
So Brad and I will be teaming up underneath the Karting Handbook banner, and we'll be up against top tier teams like the Spicy Boys, who you'll be meeting later in this video.
Okay. Time for qualifying. Been a lot of sitting around and waiting, watching the other cart to see which carts look strong, which carts look weak. Pretty luckily for me, cart number 23, which I'm going to be qualifying in, has gotten pole position multiple times. So I know the cart's more than capable. I think it started to fall off a little bit, maybe because of the heat, but I think my strategy is to not worry about the slipstream. I should be able to do a decent lap on my own. Might not be pole, but I should at least be top 5 without a slipstream, so see what I can do. So my strategy in qualifying had to be a little bit different than usual. Knowing I had a good cart underneath of me, I knew I didn't have to do anything crazy. I just needed to make sure I had a clean lap, and it might even be a good enough motor that I don't need a slipstream. In fact, we actually saw quite a few drivers get caught out trying to get into tow battles and end up just wasting tons of laps just being stuck in traffic. So my strategy, go off on my own and try and put in a monster lap.
Here we go. Qualifying for the Kart Race of Champions. See what we can do.
Ah, good old Buckmore Park. One of the most difficult kart tracks I think anywhere in the world. A track that I really struggle to get up to speed on quickly. That is except for today.
P2 on lap 1, you are 1/10 off pole currently.
Stop it. Cart feels pretty hooked up in the corners. Doesn't feel crazy on the straights, but really nice balance. Easy to adjust as well with the trail brake.
So at the moment, I'm thinking strategically, do I hold this pace for P2, or do I try and push a little bit harder at the risk of making some mistakes to try and go for pole position? I think there's only one answer to that.
A bit of a mistake. I'm gonna abort this lap, cool the tires, and I'm catching that group quickly, so.
The reason I started driving slow was because I was feeling the tires overheat, and that was confirmed by Brad on the radio, who kept telling me my sector times and my lap times, and I knew if I just kept pounding on them the way I was, that my front tires were just gonna get spent, and there's no way I was gonna improve by the end of the session. Luckily, he was also telling me that the other drivers were also not improving, but they also were all stuck in their little slipstream battle, so no one really wanted to just back off and cool down the tires. So I was in the perfect position. If I just cooled down my tires, I might be able to put in a monster lap by the end of this session.
So on this lap, you have a purple sector 1 and a green sector 2. So this is looking good. Okay, you move back up to P2. You had dropped to P3. You're now 300ths away from pole. Very, very close to pole.
With the clock quickly ticking down, it was now or never to put in a lap for pole.
You're quicker than everyone in sector 1 on this lap, matched your best. Your personal best in sector 2, so this is another good lap. And you're back to pole. Good man, 200ths ahead of P2.
Copy.
Going into the final lap, Brad was on the radio and I already knew I had a pole position time, but not by really that much margin. So I ended up just getting ridiculously lucky, and a slower kart was in front of me and I was catching him at a ridiculous pace. And I really couldn't have asked for the perfect slipstream because he just towed me all the way through sector 3. And you can literally see I basically touch his bumper just as we crossed the finish line. It literally was the perfect lap.
This could be even quicker with this tow. And it is, you go 1/10 quicker. You're on pole, you're on pole by a tenth and a half. Good job, dude. Excellent stuff.
Nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good job on comms. Thanks, Brad.
That was about the best driven qualifying session we could have hoped for. You absolutely nailed the track positioning there.
Sweet. Thank you. Yeah. Well, we're in the place you want to be for the first race. This is the best start I've had to a Kart Race of Champions, so it's looking like it's going to be a good one.
And with that, my second pole position in the Kart Race of Champions.
Thank you, Kart 23. Hopefully we get to see you again later.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, 23. It works.
Yeah, I mean the driver's okay as well, but the car 23, I think he should be taken out. I mean, to be fair, it makes your race pretty simple. Just don't get overtaken. Like,
Yeah.
So easy. It's unreal.
Yeah. As long as I can get a gap. As long as I hate leading a race when everyone's gonna be on my ass for like, the whole entire thing. But
That's gonna happen here, by the way. So get ready for that. We're all gonna have to wait and see. I'm up with Brad. We're first up.
well, I'm excited to see where you guys finished. So let's see. Spicy Boys
we go.
or Karting Handbook.
The showdown of the ages. Go on, Spicy Boys.
So, you can't make this up. I've just had Kart 23, which is a monster. We've established that, and I got pole position with it. Brad is about to go out for his first race of the day, and guess what kart is lining up in 12th position where he qualified? Kart 23.
P12 to P1 challenge.
Honestly, it could happen. It could happen. And we've got Aldas from the Spicy Boys up in P3, so as much as they are kind of my teammates, they were my teammates at the 24, I kind of want to see us beat them.
And Aldas is in Kart 5, which is not bad.
Yeah. 2 strong karts, 2 strong drivers. Let's see what happens. Oh, here they go.
And as soon as the lights went out, Brad had a monster reaction time straight onto the cart in front of him. If he can hold the inside up to turn 2, he should be able to make up a couple positions here. But unfortunately for Brad, someone had an even better start and has blocked off the inside line. Now, Brad has been pushed off into the low grip area of the track, and he is losing positions left, right, and center. But knowing Brad, that won't be for very long. And sure enough, after the lap 1 chaos had somewhat settled, Brad was right there in the mix again. As a former Kart Race of Champions winner, Brad was starting to show us just how much experience plays into doing well at one of these events.
Brad's currently in P6, so he's cooking from P12 to P6 already. He's still got 2 minutes and 18 seconds to go. And I think he's right on P5, so top 5 results is impressive. Looks like we hired the right guy for the job. P4 and P5 are absolutely within reach here. Oh, he's going for the move on P5. What a lunge. Did you see that? He's telling the guy behind him to work together, but this is sprint racing with a minute and a half to go. I think it's unlikely. But P4 is within reach. He just has to put in a monster lap here. He's right on. He's right on P4.
range, this is last lap. He's got one chance. Actually, the driver who's currently in P1 right now is F1 esports driver Thomas Ronhar. He's seriously quick in pretty much anything he gets into, and apparently he's been practicing loads over the last couple of weeks here. So tough competition out there, man. It's no joke.
But perhaps to be expected, Brad didn't care who was underneath the helmet in front of him. He just absolutely sent it every chance he got, and when he finally crossed the finish line, he was in a very respectable P4.
P12 to P4, what a drive. Let's go congratulate him. Man of the hour.
Thanks, Steve. It was nice. I want to just say this up front.
Yeah.
I didn't beat your lap time, but I just filled them with fuel. So that's my excuse straight away.
Racing driver excuses out.
I was like, I need to beat Cameron's qualifying time, and I didn't.
Now, the reason I'm able to put such fast lap times down is because I treat every day like a school day. It's how I went from my first rental karting debut to Formula 4 United States champion in less than 2 years. I studied racing physics religiously, and it made me pretty much unstoppable in rental cars. And I think to everyone's surprise, those same techniques apply to race cars too. But with that being said, there was a lot I learned in race cars I wish I had known in rental karting, hence why I created the Karting Handbook. This is my 30-lesson online video curriculum that's going to teach you everything you need to know to be fast in a rental car. We've already helped hundreds of drivers shave seconds off their lap times, and right now we're doing the biggest discount of the year, 50% off till the end of the summer, so that as many of you guys can get to the front of the grid as possible. We've got a 30-day no-risk money-back guarantee, so be sure to claim your discount using code KROCK2025. But with that being said, let's get back to the video. But after a rather impressive first heat from Brad, it was now my turn for my first race of the weekend. I think I actually learned a thing or two watching Brad out there, so hopefully I can take advantage of that.
So going into Heat 1, I was feeling, quite honestly, a little bit nervous. Not because of the driving side of it, but because of really the kart draw. So the way this works, to be as fair as possible, the series will always take the top 4 karts of the last heat and move them to the back of the field, meaning that if you start on pole position, you're gonna get the kart that finished 5th place in the following heat. So they're just always making sure that those really good karts are always being cycled through the field. The only problem, the drivers that were fighting for P4 and P5 in the race ahead of me were in, guess what? Kart number 23, the kart I had in quali, and kart number 8. And if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you'll know the significance of that number. Now, while kart number 8 probably almost definitely isn't the same kart as I had last year in the Kart Race of Champions, I had already heard a few people up to this point in the previous heats having issues with it, so it's definitely not the kart I want to be starting on pole with.
Oh, this isn't looking good. Number 8. Oh, story writes itself. The dreaded number 8 from my 2024 Kart Race of Champions comes back to haunt me. Oh, God.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you. The old kart number 8 rears its ugly head once again. Let's see what we can do.
The race that ensued was so perfect, it'd honestly be too boring to even show you.
Some very nice driving from Cameron Dass here with a blistering lap time of a 50.3.
A perfect lights the flag victory, not a single mistake, fastest lap of the race, and a record-breaking 40-second lead across the finish.
Come on, keep dreaming.
Tell them what really happened.
Oh, I'll tell them.
So yeah, it was a brutal start right from the word go.
Oh, not the best start. Oh, yeah, the bottom end doesn't feel so great.
Right off the bat, as I left the start-finish line, I knew that I was in some big trouble. The kart just did not have any drive off the line, and already I lost the lead of the race before I'd even got to turn 1.
Yeah, well done. You've got a small gap now. You can take normal line, I think.
Okay.
Then a little bit later, going through the S's, I had a pretty similar exit to the kart behind, number 20 I believe it was. Then after we went through the S's, which is easy flat out, you just see the closing rate, and he came up beside me into the downhill section. I've just never seen a kart pull on me that hard. I knew I was going to be in for a rough race pretty much straight away.
Oh, this isn't gonna be fun. Oh, down in the P4 already, not good. Oh, this is this is elbows out. Jesus Christ, the bottom end sucks. Oh, I'm just getting bullied.
These lightweight heats continuing to deliver with the ferocity of the race, and Cameron Dass just falling like a stone throughout the order in car number 8.
Oh man, this is brutal.
I don't want to make you feel too scared, but the car behind you is the number 23.
Oh, lovely.
In fact, if you were looking for battles, the main one of this top group would have to be from 8th downwards, with Cameron Dass, who started on pole, battling with Joseph Simcock, who started last. So that just goes to show how much things can change in these races. Good recovery drive though from Joseph, from last on the grid, up into the top half now. Cameron Dass not quite seeming to have the pace in this race. This will be a race he'll want to forget.
But to be honest, as bad as the kart was feeling at this point, I also felt like my driving wasn't there either. It's just one of those classic catch-22s, especially at Buckmore Park, where there's so many places you can overtake at. It's like, where do you defend? Do you defend every corner? Do you just do your normal racing line and pretend like the cars behind you aren't there? But when you just don't have the drive out of the corners, you're just kind of a sitting duck. And my tendency always is just to like try and limit the damage as much as possible, which I think occasionally leads to over-depending, as we definitely saw back in Kart Race of Champions 2023. And in the end, after starting on pole, I finished P12 in the first heat of the Kart Race of Champions.
Oh boy, that was brutal.
That's car 8.
Yeah, Kart 8. We know a lot about Kart 8, don't we?
Yeah, I kind of knew before you started, and I didn't want to make your head go down too much, and I was desperately trying to think of some positives about it, and there just aren't really any. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. Sometimes that's what you get.
I know, it just sucks, go from pole to whatever that was. I mean, sometimes it was crazy because I'd exit normally out of the second hairpin. I was like, oh, good exit. And then a cart would just like fly up the inside before we even got to the S's.
On the comms, I was like, you have a gap, you don't need to defend, and then I was almost having to say, oh no, now you do need to defend, because they've now closed this insurmountable gap in one straight.
So to show you where this whole kart discussion began, let's jump back to this morning's practice to have a chat with the Spicy Boys Racing Squad, my teammates for the Buckmore 24-hour video coming out very soon.
Zoom in on this, please.
So, what's happening right now?
So practice is going on. We're looking at the kart parity specifically just to see, you know, what karts are a little bit sketchy, but also it could be a combination of driver and car.
JB is bringing shame to the Spicy Boy's name. Look at that! P15! Are you okay, brother? That's not spicy.
It's not like him though. I think you look at some of the other names in there that he's actually competed against in Pro Series, he's done a lot better. So I think there's a little bit of car issue to contend with.
It's but a good cop, bad cop going on here, isn't there?
I know.
I think it's me as the bystander.
The shrapnel.
We'll want to keep an eye out for the weekend, I think.
So, bit of a meme. Johnny has actually found a clip of his onboard that shows how slow his car's engine was. And we've counted now, I think, 8 people he showed it to. He just keeps going around just basically showing how shit his cart was, which is just hilarious. I gave up on following him around, stalking him with the camera, so... it's rental karting. That's the game we're all playing today.
So that's where the trouble began, but let's get back to the heats.
Well, I know what kart I'm not selecting if we make it to the A final, but we just lost a lot of points there, so it's not going to be easy. We've got 2 more heats, starting pole, I think, for the second heat, and last for the third heat.
On to tomorrow then.
On to tomorrow.
We might have a similar day. Front, back, do the best we can.
We'll do the best.
Welcome to Buckmore Park for the Sunday, the finals day of the Kart Race of Champions.
Good morning. Start of day 2 here at the Kart Race of Champions. Heading straight into actually a 3-minute practice, which is just apparently a legal requirement. And then we go straight into heat 2. This is actually technically a random grid order, but guess where I've qualified? Pole position. And I've got Brad in the race with me, who's starting P3 behind me. We've got comm system linked between us, so we'll have radio communications, and hopefully we can work together to finish 1-2 for Karting Handbook. So this is going to be a really fun race. I've never done something like this before with a teammate, so this is going to be quite cool. We'll have 1 more heat later in the day, and then all our points are scored, and that determines which final we get into. Last year, I could have gotten in from A all the way down to C. This year, you can go from A all the way down to E final. So let's hope for our sake we're not finishing that far down. Let's see what we can do in heat 2. So you're probably wondering why I'm on pole again. Well, it wasn't because we had another qualifying, it's actually because the format of this race, to make it as fair as possible, will have random grid orders for heat 2 and heat 3. So because I'll be starting pole on this race, it means I'll be starting dead last for heat 3. Some drivers might have 2 mid-pack starts, but I'm actually quite happy with this because it means I should be getting a top 5 kart for this race based on the final heats results, and for my heat 3, I'll be getting one of the top 4 karts starting at the back of the field. So this could actually be pretty good for me.
Okay, kart number 4. I don't think this is a monster, but it's definitely not a dud either. So I think I've got at least an average kart, which isn't too bad. Brad back there, number 7, not the best. Not the best, unfortunately.
Before the start of this race, I would have probably judged 4 and 7 as something similar, but mainly because I hadn't actually heard anything about them or really noticed them. However, in the left lane, we have 2 karts that we know are front runners. So 13 and 25. Our competition here are seriously quick, and the driver, certainly in the second place spot there, is really quick.
So the strategy going into heat 2 largely depends on my teammate Brad. This is the one heat that we're gonna have together, so we've got a radio system and gonna be able to communicate with each other throughout this race. The only thing is, the driver starting next to me in P2 and the driver starting next to Brad in P4, they're both in tremendously fast karts. And on top of that, they're both quick drivers as well. So we decided to have a little conversation with them on the grid to just sort of have, you know, a bit of, let's work together here, let's not all screw each other's races. And it seemed like they were gonna be perfectly willing to work with us. That is assuming we had the pace.
So you have a really good kart, you're quick on the straights, but if we fight, we're gonna be fighting for 5th. So for like the first half of the race, if you push us or if we push you, then we're going to be fast. Let's guarantee a top 4 rather than a top 7.
Bit of team play, bit of inter-team play here as well. Let's see if that all goes to shit in the first couple of laps. You never know what happens on lap 1.
Okay, you're clear of Bobby, and he's going to slot in behind you. I wouldn't even fight him into hairpin 1, he's already next to you.
I'm going to let him by.
Okay, I'm right behind you. Okay, we're clear. Yep, I'm behind you. You don't need to defend. Let's go.
Copy. All right, push, push, push.
Yep. We're clear of the karts behind.
This is the first time I've ever had 2-way radio communication with another driver on track. And I must say, I might be doing this a lot more often because Brad was giving me such valuable information.
Yeah, you're clear, man. You're all clear. I don't have the power to stick with you.
All right, copy.
You know, as much as he was struggling to keep the karts behind him at bay, it was so helpful knowing that information, knowing I was building a gap to those karts behind without actually having to physically look and turn behind me.
I'm in a massive defense already.
Try and hold him up for me if you can.
You guys are gone.
At this point in the race, I knew Brad wasn't going to finish P3, and I honestly knew I didn't have the pace to stay in P2 either. I was just hoping Brad would be as aggressive as possible with his defense, just trying to hold off as many karts for as long as possible. I knew some monster drivers and monster karts were going to start catching up to me by the end of this race. It's just a matter of when, and will I be able to hold them off.
And as predicted, Brad just simply couldn't keep the karts behind him any longer.
Uh-oh, I've been done.
Copy.
I've been done by 2. I'm screwed. I'm absolutely screwed. I've been hung out. I've lost 3. Completely hung out. It's the 25 and the 5.
Okay.
If you don't want 2 karts behind you, it's those 2.
Gonna try and keep into Bobby's slipstream here, but he's already starting to gap me.
Unfortunately, kart after kart was making its way past Brad, but that doesn't mean he was going to let them by easily.
Oh man, I've got karts right behind me. Ow. Jesus, dude.
With just a few minutes left in this race, the tensions were sky high.
Okay, he's right on your tail.
The number 3 had been on a tear from farther back in the field, and I could feel him breathing down my neck every single corner. I risk bringing the number 25 into the fold here, but I need to go ultra defensive if I want to hold on to this position. I already know that I don't have the pace to keep him behind, so in a last-ditch attempt, I signal to him to work together in the off chance that maybe he just won't send it.
Ah, fuck. Let him through.
The number 3 was clearly too fast for me to keep behind, but maybe, just maybe, I could keep the number 25 behind. And unfortunately, Brad was also having a tough time keeping the karts behind him.
Oh my god, the understeer! I just got sent off.
Oh, fuck. I'm in a big battle myself.
We're now heading into the final lap of the race, and this is for all the marbles, or at least for the final podium spot. As long as I can hold him off into the first couple of hairpins here, I should be okay, assuming I don't make a mistake.
Some very nice driving from Cameron Dass here, who I believe does sell a course on kart racing.
But then, as we started heading into Sector 2, my GoPro died, and...
Oh, fuck, I made a mistake. No!
We lost P3. Meanwhile, further back in the field, Brad was having his own dramas as well.
Oh, fucking hell! What the hell, man? What was that? He just slammed into me on a straight. If this wasn't on YouTube, I'd be firing this guy off right now.
It was becoming clear that the driving standards were quickly deteriorating. Just like last year, the closer we got to the finale, the more desperation you could see in the driving standards. And it was safe to say Brad was not super happy about it.
I've been absolutely freight trained because of number 5. Absolutely freight trained. I've gone down to about 10.
And that marked the end of Heat 2.
Yeah, I just got done on the line, like literally overtaken down the straight. On the last 2 laps, 7 karts came past me.
Oh shit.
Just drove clean past.
Oh, that's rough. Onwards and upwards, Brad. Well, we've gotten one more heat, scored some points, and we're starting last, or near last, I think, both of us, so we should have decent karts and we can work through the field, so it should be a bit of fun at the very least.
But after the rather questionable driving standards we saw in that race, we were given a message from the race organizer, Clint.
Today, the business end of the event is called. You will reverting back to rental kart races and pushing your way through. Guys, respect each other on circuit, drive fair, go back to yesterday, please, enjoy, have fun.
Heat 2 done. You saw what happened. Wasn't the best. I think, honestly, a lot of it really came down to the draw for Brad and I. Like, 4 was I think it's in the average pile. It's not bad, but it can't really fight that well against monsters. I'm sure with a better driver behind the wheel, I'm sure it can. But 13 was pretty quick driver and quick kart. 25, quick driver and quick kart. 3 was monster. I think his fastest lap was like 8/10 better than my fastest, which is huge. Yeah, I think P4 is probably where we deserve to be. If I'd been maybe a little bit better with the defense, maybe I could have held on one more lap and held on to P3, but at 25 did a great job overtaking there. So yeah, onwards and upwards. I think Brad's a little flustered from that race because there was some questionable driver standards, as I'm sure you just heard the stewards talk about. So yeah, I think we're just gonna have to reset. Brad and I are both starting near the back for both of our heats, not in the same heat, but we've got nothing to lose. Only points to gain.
P4 is not a bad end result, quite honestly. Of course, I would have loved to have won it from pole, but you know, it kind of averages out that P12 finish we had in Heat 1. The only thing is now, if I want to guarantee a spot in the B final, which is what it's looking like right now, I basically need to go from last to probably top 5 in Heat 3.
All right, it's time for our third and final heat. There's a lot riding on this race. I'm starting P20. Goal is P1. In theory, I have a decent kart because I'll get the kart that finished 4th place from the heat before me. So we'll see what we can do. Unfortunately, a lot of the monsters have been taken out of the fleet now. Kart 22, Kart 3 have been insanely fast this morning. So I'll get something decent, but I don't think I'm gonna get something like a complete rocket ship. So last to first challenge, here we go. No, it looks like, wait. On the sheet, I was listed as P20. P20? Yeah. That's why I'm confused.
I don't know. I think you'll get another car then, I guess.
Huh. So as I mentioned before, the top 4 karts from each heat get moved to the back 4 for the following heat, just so that those really strong karts are always getting cycled through the grid. But for some reason, when it was my turn to start dead last, instead of getting the 4th place kart from the previous heat, just some random kart from the pit lane got pulled out that I knew nothing about, and it was dead cold. I've just got to get in this kart and hope it's half decent.
But luckily for me, new this year, for insurance purposes, we all have to do 3 laps of practice before the race begins, which gives me just enough time to evaluate this kart.
I think this kart might be completely cold, so...
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. It's been sat there a while.
The front end feels direct, so I think it just needs some temperature, hopefully. Feels on the oversteer side so far, but I think it just still needs a bit more temperature in. If it's got oversteer, I can work with it, but it's long as it's not dreadfully understeer, I should be fine. Yeah, it wasn't a mega lap, but where did that put us?
P15. We are
Okay.
1.2 seconds off the lead.
Oh boy. It takes a lot for me to get like genuinely frustrated, and that's pissed me off a bit. It is what it is. We'll just have to end it.
Stop.
Oh, understeer city out here.
Nice, robust. I like it.
Robust it certainly was. I guess when you're starting dead last, there's really not much to lose. And at this point, I haven't got any warnings or penalties from the stewards, so I may as well use some of my brownie points.
A little bit cheeky on my side, but
The carts behind you are fighting like crazy, so you have a gap. Nice move.
all right, we're through. Up on the bank.
Your pace is quicker than several of the carts in the next bunch. So there's some carts around 5 places ahead of you that are going several tenths slower than you. So you're going to be brought into this.
Big battle up ahead. Definitely see some opportunities forming here.
You're only 1/10 off the pace of P3. You're pretty much on the leader's pace cap. Opportunity here.
But it wasn't just me taking advantage of opportunities here. Everyone was really getting their elbows out now.
8 minutes remaining, so lots of time.
With bumpers on these carts, it's very easy to load a driver out of the way, which the stewards can't so easily see sometimes. So the general rule of thumb is, if someone starts doing it to you and they don't get penalized for it, you kind of have to do it back.
30 is close behind you.
Got me. Fuck it up. What a send. Did not think he was going to go for that. Oh, man. I lost a lot of time there. Shit. All right, head forward.
So I was overtaking karts left, right, and center. It just wasn't as easy as I felt it was in 2024. I just don't think I had the pace in me that I had last year, probably because I didn't practice immediately before this event, not learning from my 2023 mistakes, but also I just don't think I had the strongest kart underneath me, which was really unfortunate because I really thought I was gonna get a top 4 kart here. Instead I got a cold one from pit lane.
Fuck. I just got hung out to dry.
Yeah, that one was my bad.
How many minutes to go?
3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Every second I wait to make an overtake now is potentially a point that could secure me in the B final. I need to really get my hammer down here. But unfortunately for me, everyone else has the exact same thought, so the elbows are fully out right now.
Fuck.
Now, I wouldn't say it's my normal strategy to drive purposely erratically, but I'm finding it's definitely throwing the other drivers off guard, so I think I'm gonna keep doing it. The loading was a little bit questionable from my side, but if the stewards aren't penalizing, then I guess it wasn't illegal.
Getting the old elbows out. No contact warnings yet, so I'll take it.
But finally, after what felt like ages in that intense battle, I finally had just a little bit of breathing room.
You have a big gap behind now. If the two in front keep fighting, you can have another couple of places. Nice, good job, man.
Nice. All right.
Well done, man. P11.
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 All right, cool.
Your kart was around 9/10 slower than the guys at the front in the end once they warmed up, so that's a good effort.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll take that. Not a P20 to first, but I think given the circumstances, I think this car was pretty brutal with the understeer. I thought it was going to be oversteer on cold tires, and once the rears came in, I was like, oh shit. Let's see where that puts us for the final, the Kart Race of Champions 2025.
So, I probably should be happy with that. P19 to P11. We went forward. That was the main thing. But I am just really disappointed, really, more of the kart situation. I know I shouldn't care. It should be random. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. There's nothing we can do about it now. All we have to do is see how many points we stacked up and see what final we're going to be placed in. As we saw from last year, you can be in a lower final and make your way forwards and end up in a final on pole position. So, anything can happen.
But before we find out what final I've made, it's time for Brad's last heat to score points.
I just got completely screwed. So, basically, because there weren't enough karts in that previous race,
Right, yeah.
we
Now
are
they're
now
adding
not
an extra
getting
one.
the top four.
Yeah.
We're getting the karts that are just extras that have been sat here cold.
We both had
It happened to
very
you.
poor luck. But yeah. Doesn't make any sense. Good luck. Poor Brad. But then the guy behind him gets a random cart that just happens to be one of the strongest carts on the grid. I honestly think that the way that this event is structured is really smart because you're almost always getting like a random draw and it ends up all kind of like weighing out. But then when that doesn't happen, then you're just a bit in the shit, like as we saw in the last race. So one of the possibilities is that people are actually dropping out of the event early. Like that last race, there was supposed to be 20 people in it, I think. I was supposed to start P20, but instead I started P19. I heard a guy last night who wasn't having a great Saturday just saying like, I think I'm just gonna drive home and just not come on Sunday. And I'm just like, it's not the attitude to have. You're bound to have a bit of bad luck in an event this long. So you just roll with the punches and see what you can do. It's all a bit of fun at the end of the day. Welcome to rental karting.
Oh my god, look at the gap. Oh, it's got no power. Oh my god, it's got no power. Yep, no power and no grip.
Oh, I think Brad's gonna try and change his cart. By the looks of it, Brad's gone through one corner and been like, nah, this cart ain't it. Yeah, here he comes.
Hey man, I'm just coming in to do a kart change if that's possible.
That's Clinton in the white and black suit there. He's this organizer, so if anyone needs to be convinced, it's him. He might have the power to make this work.
If I swap a car every time somebody says it's bad, how many people do you think is going to be in it every heat?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough.
I know.
But you've got enough karts to do it.
Yeah, no, but I'm not going to, because we would still be on heat 15.
Okay. Well, all I'm saying is that I came in because, as far as I was concerned, you could do that.
It's been already like 4 or 5 minutes at this point. Brad's still trying to convince Clint to swap karts. Doesn't look like it's going to be successful, which means if he has to start this race in the 26 kart, he's done 0 laps in practice. And that kart came out of the pits cold. So he's going to start this race dead cold, which means he's even more screwed for the start. So I'm kind of like, Brad, man, just get in the cart and like get on the grid, because at this rate, he's not starting this race. Well, that ain't gonna help his points. Definitely not gonna help the team points either.
Back to you, mate.
Okay, well, I did my best. I tried to follow the rules. Let's give it a try.
You know, you got to think about it also from his perspective. Like, he won this thing 3 years ago. Like, he is capable. He is a fast driver. And when we've had very bad luck, both of us, but him also, him especially maybe, has really bad luck with karts. He's not really being able to show his true performance right now, but yeah, look at that. The Kart 5 just literally sprinted around him, but we know Kart 5 is extremely strong, so let's see what he can do against the others. It's rental karting. At a certain point, you just gotta like put your head down and go for it.
And despite his frustration, that's exactly what Brad did. He was putting in overtakes left, right, and center. And while it was clear he didn't have the strongest of karts, he certainly wasn't going to use that as an excuse. But perhaps there was just a little bit of red mist still left over.
Oh, Brad and Drew are fucking going at it. Brad could risk a black flag here if he's not careful. Same for Drew. They really should just work together. They're at the back of the field. They can only benefit from just working together at this point. So Brad and Drew seem to be catching a pack in front. This could be good for them. Yeah, Brad's giving the signal there. It's smart. It's smart to work together. It's just whether or not they use all their brain cells and put them together. It's easier said than done in a sprint racing environment. There's only 3 minutes left to go, so if Drew sees a gap, he probably will send it, and I wouldn't blame him for it.
You'd think watching this on board, it'd be for the race lead of the Monaco Grand Prix, but no. This is rental karting in the Kart Race of Champions. It's the final point-scoring heat of the day. Everyone is desperate right now.
Oh, he's going mega defensive. All right, Drew and Brad made it through that pack, so it was nicely played. If I've done my math right, Brad is currently in P9, Drew in P10, so they've both actually done quite well out of this. Definitely getting the elbows out. This is classic K-Rock. Once you get down to the last heats and certainly the finals, the driving standards drop quite quickly because everyone's desperate.
And in the end, Brad finished P9.
Honestly, very nicely done from, I think I was P17 on the grid, so I think he had the fire in him that race. I think he drove incredibly well, given the circumstances.
I tried. And also, fortunately for me, some barriers have been knocked out of the way on the downhill S's. And you know my motto is use more curb.
Yeah.
And so I was using a lot more than everyone else. And that was also a genuine lap time game.
Yeah. On to the finals. Let's find out where we placed. We should know soon.
So now is the moment of truth. All of the heats have been done, which is when we score the points to determine which final we do. All the points go out of the window. This whole event comes down to what results we get in the final. Last year, there were only 100 drivers. Now we have 200 drivers, which means there's not just an A, B, and C main, there's an A, B, C, D, E main. I really have no idea. Luckily for me, all of the heats have been completed, so I should be able to figure it out now. It would look like, I'm scrolling. Okay, I found Brad's position, P36. I'm pretty sure Brad will be starting last in B main, which is not too bad given the circumstances. And myself, I am P41 in points, which would put me towards the front of C main. Not the best, but I'm in the territory to hopefully make it to the front and maybe get upgraded to B. And we know what happened when I started last in B final last year. So, we'll see.
Moment of truth, C final. I'm starting P3, which is honestly not a bad place to start. The two drivers ahead of me are both part of the same team, TRX, which if you've seen the 24-hour video, you'll know the context of that. One of those in particular, Reese Kello, I've raced him several times in the Kart Race of Champions, and he is perfectly capable of fighting at the top of A main. So you can see there's a lot of drivers that are mixed up right now, and there's some very fast people in C. So it's not gonna be easy. Only the winner of this race will actually get promoted up to the B final, and then the winner of the B final gets promoted to the A final. So I need to do some serious work if I wanna best my results of top 5 that I got last year. So all I can do is send it.
Oh shit, I just realized I don't have my rib protector. Hopefully I'm not too close on weight. Uh-oh. Oh well. This is gonna be a bit more painful than the other ones.
So with the signal from the drivers ahead to work together, it was time to see what I could do.
Here you go. Oh, that wasn't a great launch off the line. Got the place already. Oh, I'm getting bumped like crazy. Holding the inside all the way. Up into P2. Well, momentarily. Oh no. Lost one to P5. I knew he was going to pass me. But it was a strong possibility because that kart's a monster. But I had to win this race. I want to move up to B. Gotta be aggressive.
When you've got a swarm of ridiculously fast drivers behind you there and you're fighting for the last podium spot in this race, it's really hard to describe that level of pressure. Even though this is just for the C final, everyone is fighting as if this is for the win in A final right now, something that I don't think has happened in previous Kart Race of Champions.
Really? Come on. Let's work together. We need to go forward. Fighting for this is pointless. I need to just put in some clinical laps here. I'm losing the slipstream already. I don't think I've got the pace unless they start fighting a lot.
And before I knew it, I was already on the defensive, massively. At this rate, I think I'd be lucky to even hold on to top 5.
No one overheat the front. Sun's pretty strong at the moment. This is just going to be a full-on sprint race, I think, at this point. This guy doesn't want to work together, clearly. I want to hold on to the podium at least. It's going to be a dogfight till the end.
But all this fighting with the number 1 is bringing all the other karts behind us into the fold as well. So if I'm not careful here, I'm not just fighting for the podium, I could be fighting for the top 10.
How does this end? I overtook this guy in the previous race, so I think I've got the pace on him unless his kart's a monster. Just looking like it might be based on the straight line. He's catching those two. It's gonna get spicy. Oh, he's going for it. That number 1 really loves the inside move there.
And then, just like the previous heats, the number 5 was right on my gearbox. And then into the brake zone, he loaded me up to the apex, meaning I've got absolutely freight trained going into the second hairpin. This was the last thing I was expecting in this race. Remember, I need to win this in order to get promoted to the B final.
You know? Oh, I just got absolutely wrecked. Fuck, I just lost so many positions there. God damn it. Just pushed me out wide. Not good. I just need to put my head down, try and limit the damage here a bit.
And that is exactly what I did. I went super aggressive, and with just a few minutes left of the race, I was starting to feel a little bit desperate.
That was a bit of a late lunge, and I got some help from behind, but it worked.
At this point, winning this race is feeling increasingly unlikely, so I guess I may as well have some fun with it.
Oh, just getting freight train, come on! All that work I just did evaporated. Oh my god, I'm getting actually abused right now. Oh, it's a bit of bumper karts, but it's the C final. You gotta do what you can do. No contact warning so far, so until the stewards start complaining. Oh, I shouldn't go for the outside here. Oh, that fucking driver T-boned though. It actually kind of worked out in my favor because that wasn't gonna end well. Just doesn't work around the outside in 2. Less than a minute and a half to go. Oh, fucking hell. Got hit so hard my foot came off the brake.
And although this hasn't been the best race up to this point, this is when it really started to go south.
No!
I lost a ton of momentum in the second hairpin, and I'm very much on the back foot going into the downhill section. And to make matters worse, now the driver in the white suit is loading me, so I don't think this is gonna end well.
Oh.
It really all started to unravel when I got a little bit hung out to dry in hairpin 2, and then I was stuck on the outside going into the downhill section. The driver on my inside, the number 23, decided to just load me going into the fast downhill right, to the point where I was all the way out to the red, completely off the racing line. Even he was off the racing line, to the point where another driver actually could come to both of our insides. That pissed me off a little bit, so I decided to just keep it pinned, and I was gonna just keep it flat out through the left-hander and park it on the inside of the brake zone so that I would at least have the inside of the corner for paddock. My defense worked and I managed to get the corner back, but then out of nowhere, I just felt like I became a human projectile. Within like a second or two of that initial contact, I had no idea what to even make of the incident. I thought it felt like my kart accelerated under braking, so surely I got hit from behind. But then I started thinking maybe I just locked up the brakes so bad with so much speed that it was my fault. But I didn't really have time to really assess it in the moment because I noticed immediately as I picked my eyes up that the driver in the sidelines was clutching his ribs. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. Then when I pulled up beside him, I just asked if he was all right, and he just gave me the thumbs up and kind of just motioned for me to just go continue on with my race. Luckily, he went to the hospital later that night. He had some bruising on his spine and I think his ribs, but he was okay. So it could have definitely been a lot worse. And yeah, I just spent like really the last lap or two of the race. I'm still driving. I think I still managed to overtake someone, but I was just trying to relive that moment in my head, trying to figure out what had happened.
Oh, race to forget, man. Race to forget. I had an absolute blast so far, but yeah, the elbows were way more out than last year or even 2023. And I did the same thing, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was just going with what the rules were allowing, but yeah, definitely more bumper car-esque than in previous years, you could say that for sure. Not happy with the result, but happy with the memories for sure.
I don't even know where I finished.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, just rammed. I think I got rammed, unless I fucked up, but sure, it was more fun to watch from the outside than I think from the inside, to be completely honest.
It was like watching an American crime scene out there. It was like, yep, they're getting told off now. They're getting told off about you, about everything that you did.
Oh, okay, cool, nice.
This is your legacy, my
Hey,
friend.
no contact warnings, by the way,
No,
for
it was-
anybody.
Yeah, it was one of the it was like one of the worst races I've ever seen in my life, honestly. Yeah. Absolutely terrible.
Honestly, yesterday, racing was pretty chilled out. Like, it was very, very chilled. Today, and the driving standards have been abysmal. Like, honestly, you had to be so aggressive all the time. Otherwise, someone's going to kill you. Someone's going to send you off. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a really good day regardless. One point to make, you didn't make the A final. What does that mean for the 24 next year?
I guess I'm booted. I'm booted.
We just signed him.
Is Cameron Dan washed? Find out in the next video.
I am on Cameron Das hate wash. I am fully on Cameron Das hate wash.
I'm fired, yeah. Fired from the Spicy Boys racing team. Even when I came into the pits and I was fully out of the kart and the adrenaline started wearing off, I still had no idea what had happened. That is until...
Cameron, the right control, please.
Well, today as well. Someone's in trouble. All good?
This is honestly more of an apology for what happened to you in that race. I've just seen
the last
down
one?
the hill. I've just seen the footage, and I know the driver, and I asked him an honest question and said, "Did you do that on purpose?"
Yeah.
Yes.
The one scenario I wasn't expecting to hear was on purpose. Someone did this intentionally. It was way more likely that I messed something up or someone did it by accident, but for someone to openly admit to the organizer of the event that they took me out on purpose, this is something that's never happened in my entire racing career.
So, as far as I'm concerned, one, he's been disqualified. Two, it's not acceptable, and I'm sorry you got caught up in that.
Honestly, I didn't even know if I got hit, but I thought maybe I just locked up the brakes.
No.
And like, just,
No, it
okay.
So apologies for that. He has been spoken to. And by the way, and I know this has been filmed, I'm not doing this apology to make
I know you aren't. I know
suddenly
you-
go, we'll leave that crash out
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
video. I'm not like certain somebody that got face covered at another circuit. We won't go into that. At the end of the day, my main reason for doing this is for people to enjoy it. And when people go back going, that's been ruined by somebody else, to me it's not acceptable. So deepest apologies.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Look, massive respect to Clint for his apology as an organizer. I know he's not doing that just because it's on camera and stuff. He's genuinely just a really good guy. But quite honestly, he's not the one who owes anyone an apology. I don't even necessarily want an apology from the guy who took me out, but he definitely owes an apology to the guy he injured, who was just a complete innocent party in all of this.
Obviously, this wasn't the end to the K-Rock that I would have liked, especially given that we were top 5 last year, but luckily for me, I got to finish the weekend by watching an incredible performance from Brad in his final.
I don't know what position Brad is in right now, but he is flying.
In true Brad fashion, he was sending it absolutely everywhere, and you knew if he got on the gearbox of someone that he was going to find a way around them.
Last lap. This could be, I think, a top 10. Oh, that was such a lunge. Okay, it did not work, but you know, fair play. Sometimes you see the worst racing you've ever seen in your life, and sometimes you see, honestly, some of the best racing you'll see anywhere in motorsports, because you have the safety of the bumpers, slow enough that you can take some big risks. Oh, that was close.
And in the end of the B final, Brad finished P12 after starting P17.
Well, I was the Kart Race of Champions 2025. I told you I'd come out swinging. I think I did, to a certain extent, but Kart Race of Champions 2026, I'll have to retake this, I think.
I want to offer a huge congrats to the winners of both classes. You guys were all absolutely unreal to watch. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, this isn't the end of our Buckmore story this year, because we're coming back, and this time for the Buckmore 24 Hour. You better make sure you smash that subscribe button.